This is the Met's Northwest Area Task Force on the front line of the fight against knife crime and gang violence.
We've been regrouped and we're now on the way to Newham, where last week there was a murder which involved a knife, and we're going to execute a search warrant at a high-risk address which is known for drug use.
The officers who forced their way into this crack den are wearing full protection, as information from murder squad detectives suggests the possibility of weapons inside.
If we find items on the property...
3 people inside the flats have been handcuffed as officers search the rooms. Within minutes they found a samurai sword, an axe and a knife the detectives believe to be the murder weapon.
One of the suspects in there, we believe, has tried to put some drugs out of a window, because this officer has seen some drugs on the floor, by my foot, as you can see, and then out on the ledge there's a bag.
So, don't all of that. Oh yeah. 15, 20 bags of cannabis.
Do not move. Right, I've got a taser. If any of you kick off, you'll get tasered. Do you understand?
This is the raw reality of knife crime, which has shown a significant rise across the country. And today, nationwide, police are on the offensive with high-profile operations to get knives off the streets. Lorraine Jones' life was torn apart by knife crime. She now helps run a boxing gym and community project in South London, set up in the memory of her son Dwayne, who was stabbed to death as he went to help another young man being chased by a gang of youths.
It feels like yesterday. It feels like you're living a dream. You just want to wake up. Feel like I have got a broken heart. It's disabled us. We're not the same. One of my daughters left home, so it was like I lost 2, but obviously she couldn't cope with even being at home in the area. It's really shattered us as a family.
In North London, officers are trying to contain a fight involving a gang of East European men. They've made several arrests.
So Mark, this is apparently there was an altercation. It started off as like a criminal damage, I think, to a motor vehicle, and then an argument ensued, and apparently this was pulled and threatened, and this is when the officers hit their emergency button to get us here. And as you can see, you know, there's quite a few police officers here now to sort of take control of the situation.
From baseball bats to knives, even guns, gangs across the country are increasingly turning to deadly weapons to settle arguments. After years of falling crime levels, violence, including knife crime, is on the rise again.
We are concerned about the supply of knives at street level, and one of the purposes of this operation is not only to target people who might be carrying knives, but also to look at places where knives might be supplied from. And we're doing a lot of work with retailers to that end to try and reduce the flow of knives, including these so-called zombie slayer knives that we have seen more frequently in recent times.
The 2 young men in this car were among several we saw stopped and searched. They told us they understood the necessity for such operations.
There's more than enough young people dying, old people dying from whether it's knives, guns, fighting, whatever, etc. So if it wasn't for these guys, bloody hell, man, it'd be mayhem. So I'm grateful that they are here. Sometimes they do get on the nerves because, you know what, don't want to be in the cold all day, but they're here to do a job, man.
Back on the streets, the task force is en route to help local officers in East London deal with large-scale violence. 1 young man has been shot, another stabbed in retaliation.
The duty inspector at Hackney Borough has requested more units, including the Commissioner's Reserve, us, due to serious disorder. What the nature of that disorder we don't know yet, but we've been informed by our inspector we need to make our way.
Come on!
Police have chased the suspect with a knife, but there's a large crowd.
As reinforcements arrive to disperse groups of youths, various weapons have been seized, including this knife.
There's been quite serious assaults tonight, and we are getting that tit-for-tat sort of gang mentality, like seeking retribution and stuff.
For this Met Police task force, it was a relentless night of dealing with the consequences of knife crime and gang violence. Across the country this week, there will be many more operations like this one as police fight back against a growing menace. Mark White, Sky News.